Hello and welcome to the section 10.3 lecture today. Today we're talking about writing equations of perpendicular lines. And remember, perpendicular lines are lines that meet at a right angle. Okay, and so the question we're trying to answer today is what makes two lines parallel. We kind of have a thought from yesterday that it might be something to do with the slope. But let's look at an example and try to figure out what has to be true about the slopes. So we want to first write the equation of the red line. Yesterday I could say top and bottom. I can't do that today because one isn't above the other one. So I'm finding, and I pointed it out because I know that photocopying doesn't involve color, and also if anybody has a hard time seeing color, this would be a really tough question. So I made sure to put an arrow to it. I want to find the equation of this line. It goes through 3, so the y-intercept is 3. Slope-wise, it goes down 3 and over 2. So the slope is negative 3 over 2. So writing that equation, negative 3 over 2x plus 3. For the blue one, this one down here, goes through negative 5. And to find its slope, I'm going to use this point here, and it shows that it goes up 2 and over 3. So it has a slope of 2 over 3. These two lines are actually perpendicular, and it helps us out to figure out what is the case with the slope. And so looking at what we have, what's true about these two slopes? How do I turn one of these slopes into the other one? We have kind of a mathematical description, but it's really the better one is just physically, what does it look like happens? We call it, so first off, I see that this one's negative, this one's positive. So we call that the opposite sign. And there's something else because 3/2 became 2/3. I used these two slopes purposely to try to make it really visual as to what's going on. And what it is we flip our fraction. We call that the reciprocal. Okay. We say that two lines are perpendicular if they have opposite reciprocal slopes. And I did mention that there's kind of a mathy definition, and there is. It's that one slope is equal to the negative 1 over the other slope. That's, again, very mathy. It's easier to think about opposite reciprocal slopes. So that's what makes two lines parallel, is that they have opposite reciprocal slopes. Okay, that's the requirement. So let's get to some examples. Okay, these are going to be just like yesterday's in that they go through a certain point. So I'm going to need to find my new slope, find my y-intercept, and move on from there. Again, the only thing I care about, well, I really care about two things, and I probably did a bad job of pointing this out yesterday, but it's perpendicular to this line. That's all we're talking about today. And the line that we already know has a slope of negative 1/8. So I take negative 1/8, I change its sign, and I flip it over. So my new slope is 8 over 1, or just 8. I'm actually going to plug in my x and my y. Negative 3 is equal to 8 times 2 plus b. 8 times 2 is 16. If I subtract 16 from both sides, I get negative 19 equals b. So our new line, 8x minus 19. On the next one, I have a slope of 1/5, and I want it perpendicular. Flip it over, change its sign. Our new slope is going to be negative 5. I do have a decent point here because it involves a 0. Sadly, it's the wrong 0 to just call the problem done. Because I have to multiply, I'm actually going to rewrite that, my slope by negative 1 plus b. So I have 0 equals negative 5 times negative 1 is positive 5. And if I subtract 5 from both sides, I get that b is equal to negative 5. So my new equation, negative 5x minus 5. It's kind of funny when those both end up working out. Okay. I kind of classify this next one in one of the hardest easy problems there is. The line I want to look perpendicular to has a slope of negative what? Negative 1. So if I take negative 1, change its sign and flip it over, in order to think about flipping it over, I do want to put it over 1. So now I can flip it over. And switch its sign also, becomes 1 over 1. So my new slope is 1. So putting that into our equation, negative 2 equals 1 times 3 plus b. 1 times 3 is 3, and if I subtract 3 from 2, I get negative 5. Subtract 3 from negative 2, I get negative 5. And so we get y is equal to 1x, or just x, minus 5. And my last one, I have a fraction. I want to flip its sign and flip its fraction. So my new slope will be negative 9 over 5. Then for a little shortcut, on this one I have, it goes through the point 0, 5. 0, 5 on the graph is right here. So that is my y-intercept. No matter how my line looks, that's going to be my y-intercept at 5. So negative 9 over 5x plus 5. Take the easy problems where you can. All right, if you have any questions, put them over on the left. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day, and we will see you in class.